that you noted that would be good growth areas for you?
Good growth areas. Well, I went with 3E: supports, systems, and structures for continuous and collaborative analysis of student growth. I picked that one specifically because I feel like that is a weakness. No, I wouldn't say a weakness, just something that I can work on and improve in that area.
What are some things right now that you think we have in our building, like put in place, that support that indicator? Like, what have we tried so far?
Well, we've done some staff meeting level management systems, and we teach teachers different things that would be beneficial to them in teaching and managing discipline and behavior while they're teaching. We have behavioral incentive things that we offer the students who aren't a behavior problem, things like that.
So what do you think would be good action steps to help you fulfill that goal?
Action steps, always, I think I'm more of a visual learner myself, so if you show me something, like doing having in-service and staff meetings where we are teaching teachers again and we model what we want those things to look like, whether that is using proximity to prevent students from being disruptive during class, or if we are wanting them to show them how to check uniforms as they're coming in through the door, showing them that standing at your door you can catch a lot of things that occur before it happens, things like that. So actually modeling what we want it to look like by showing them.
Have you had a chance to review the discipline data from the first semester?
I have, and a lot of that comes in the way of SmartPass, which we use as a hall pass tool here at school, but however it compiles the data, it shows us how much time students are spending out of class, where they are, where what are some of the most frequent flyer areas of the school are, and things like that. So we use that data and we try to break that down to share it with the teachers. Hopefully we can start using that as a semester thing or as a 9 weeks thing, and not just as an end of the year thing, so what we want to do like the next year.
So have you had a chance to review it? Have you noticed any trends with it?
A few trends, and a lot of it is they are the trends that we've seen. It's like students spending a lot of time in a specific bathroom in a specific area of the building, things like that. But haven't really dove into it very deep.
What about, as I know we have, or use the cognitive for our discipline system, and teachers use it when they submit their detentions, and we made some tweaks to it throughout the first semester. How have those changes gone, and then have you had a chance to look at that data?
Well, the new Cognito that we use, thank you, Ms. Peterson, she has simplified that to make it so much easier, and I think that helps teachers in feeling more confident and putting in those discipline cognitos. I haven't necessarily gotten to look through that data yet. We usually do the behavior incentive things, so that's usually when I look at that and I see, oh well, we have X amount of students who are going to be here because they haven't received a referral at all. But like I said, I go back to making that easier for teachers to use. I mean, it's just like 20 years ago we would write a referral, handwrite it. Now you can just do a drop-down screen and it fills everything in for you, or you just type. So I think that is a very important tool and a very useful tool for our teachers.
So kind of going back to the action steps. So what I heard you say is that you have had a chance to look through some of the data, but you'd like to dig in a little bit more.
Yes, I'd like to look at it a little bit more because again, if we are trying to be proactive and what's the word I want to use? We want to minimize some of the infractions that that we might have seen in the first 9 weeks or the first semester. We want to minimize those things. We need to see where they are and how often they happen. So if we are having lots of problems with males on the third floor in the restroom during third period, then we know that we probably need to monitor that a little bit more. Or if we are seeing students leave, high levels of students leave their classrooms during the fourth period right before lunch, then we need to know to put systems in place so we make sure that doesn't continue to happen.
Okay, I think that's a really great idea, and also to make our teachers aware of that. As you mentioned, doing it in service, which I think we have some staff meetings coming up where we have time set aside to discuss discipline, and also to have that really strong start for the second semester. So what would be a time frame for you to look at that data and then share it with the leadership team?
Well, hopefully we can get that done before this 9 weeks is up, because again, we will only have one more 9 weeks left after that, if I'm correct. So when we come back on Monday, I'll definitely start looking at that effective on Monday morning, and hopefully by midweek, we'll have some data to share at the next staff meeting.
Okay, so I'll put a note that I'm gonna follow up maybe next Wednesday to look at kind of what you've observed, and then we can make a plan for what we can share with the teachers. You mentioned modeling certain discipline techniques. What do you think kind of, I know we wanna look at the discipline data to like think about what they might need. Have you noticed anything as we've started our leadership team walkthroughs that you think would be good strategies or best practices to share with our teachers?
I think, just talking about how important seating charts are. We've had a lot of teachers who started to use designated areas for backpacks and things like that. Just making sure that we're all on the same page, that every classroom has a designated space to where their students can put their backpacks. I just think it's kind of a pet peeve and an eyesore of mine to come into a classroom where students are supposed to be there for an hour or 50 minutes, and they're sitting at their desk with their backpacks on their backs or in their laps. And again, I'm really big on the proximity thing. So reminding teachers and modeling that when you're up away from your desk, moving around your room, that you're less likely to deal with some of the things that you would, whether that you can't see or you can't intervene fast enough because you're just sitting at your desk.
Yeah, that kind of takes me back to the discipline data. I wonder, is there any of those, I know we have something that's like failure to follow classroom rules. Is there anything that's more specific that would give us an idea of like those infractions in the classroom?
As in like simplifying that as like a...
I was wondering, is there something on the form now that addresses that?
Yeah, I think it's better to follow classroom procedures. Maybe we need to define that on there specifically, because I don't know if that one is on there. It's failure to follow classroom rules, but procedures could open up that box.
Yeah, I really like that. And then there's also a test indicator that ties to physical space. I think it's domain 2E, so that would be really good to think about when we discuss with teachers. And the last thing you had mentioned, I think in a conversation we had before, was about like students. We talked about teacher action steps or how you could provide support to teachers. I know looking at the discipline data, of course, you're gonna see a lot of students' names. On that level, what is maybe an action step you could have regarding students and how you could build the culture there with them?
Well, that would be for students who we would deem as problematic, who are repeat offenders, who are constantly being sent to my office. Then once we do those classroom observation walks, then I give that teacher that feedback, and then in there I will state so-and-so. I will have a direct conversation with the students. So it's pulling those students and having one-on-one conversations with them, just letting them know that not only does that teacher have in their best interest, but as my job as the dean, I want to see you succeed. Just having those one-on-one conversations with those students.
Yeah, I like that, and I would like for you. I think it might be good also to have a law